Hello, my name is Nathan Taylor, otherwise known as Sockmatician, and this is a double knitting tutorial. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do what I call the combined double increase, double decrease. Now, what exactly is that? This stitch here in my Genesis shawl pattern, which is the reason why I'm doing this tutorial in the first place, is a way of starting a diagonal set of columns of contrast coloured stitches coming from a single point. Can you see how neat and tidy that is? This last orange stitch here gives way to a green stitch which splits into three, and so you think, well, that's just a double increase, isn't it? A knit one yarn over knit one would do the job. Yes, it would, but what I didn't want to do was increase my stitch count, so I've had to incorporate two decreases into the stitch as it's worked, so that we get the same stitch count but we still get one stitch splitting into three. Well, couldn't I have just put a decrease either side? Well, yes, I could, but then you'd see it, and I didn't want to have the lines of the columns interrupted in that way. As you can see here, all the columns of stitches worked very neatly up into it, and it's completely invisible. It's a very, very useful stitch, although I've never seen it anywhere else. So forgive me if I am a little bit stumbly on this one. I'm going to be referring to my notes because there's quite a few stages to this. As you can see, I have got a swatch here all set up. And in this swatch, you'll notice that 2 rows ago, I switched the colour of the stitches in one column. So I've got one purple stitch here and another purple stitch on the needle. So I've got 2 rows of this contrast colour stitch. That's the situation you find yourselves in Genesis when working this stitch, because it's this bottom stitch here, this purple stitch, the one at the bottom of the contrast coloured section, which will be the one that splits and becomes the base of that lovely triangle. All the way down there, I hear you ask? Yes, all the way down there. So here's how it's done. The stitch technique is worked over 3 pairs of stitches. So I've got these ones here, this one here, and this one here. And all 3 of these are going to be involved in this technique. Step 1, insert the tip of the right needle purlwise into the front of the first and third stitches on the left needle, missing out the second one completely. So they are 2 different colours because of course I'm going into that middle column there. Slide the left needle out of these 3 stitches and the second stitch will pop free at the back of the work, and before it has a chance to go anywhere, slide the left needle straight back into it there. Slip 1 stitch only purlwise back from the right needle to the left, so there, like that. Going in from back to front, insert the tip of the right needle under the right hand leg of the parent stitch of the first stitch on the left needle. So this is the stitch on the left needle, this is its parent. So going in from back to front, I insert the tip of the right needle under there, under the right hand leg of it. I'm going to slip this lifted loop purlwise from the right needle to the left. Then I'm going to slip 1 stitch, this one here, also purlwise, back from the right needle to the left. So I've moved everything out of the way and I've lifted this one up into place. Using the yarn specified by the first of the 3 squares on your chart, in the case of Genesis, but I'm going to go with my contrast colour here. I'm going to knit these first 2 stitches together. Now I want my contrast colour to be the purple, so that's what's happening there, and that's the first of the divisions there. I'm going to slip 1 stitch purlwise from the left needle onto a cable needle. Here's my cable needle. It's just a needle tip. I don't have a cable needle to hand, so I'm going to use this one for a little while. I'm going to slip that onto there and just anchor it in my knitting so it doesn't come astray, and hold it at the front. I'm going to bring both yarns together to the front of the work. Now I'm going to slip 1 stitch purlwise from the left needle to the right, nice and simple. I'm going to tilt my needles towards me so that I can see the back of the work, and on the back, going in from front to back, I'm going to insert the tip of the right needle under the right hand leg of the parent of the first stitch on the left needle. Wow, that's a lot to digest. So this is the stitch that's on the first stitch that's on the left needle. This is its parent here. So it would be it's the bottom stitch there. It's the corresponding stitch to the one we did on the front. Like that. I'm going in from front to back, and I'm going to lift that like that. I'm going to slip this lifted loop purlwise from the right needle to the left. Now you might think you want to slip it knitwise in order to reorient it, but I actually want it mounted with the left leg in front. So I'm going to slip it purlwise over to the left needle. Push my cable needle a little bit out of the way, it's getting a little bit long. Now I'm going to slip one stitch purlwise through the back leg, which means going around the back and coming in towards me in that direction from the right needle to the left. Now using my yellow yarn, I can purl these two stitches together through the back legs. That means going around the back of the stitches like that, coming in towards me like so, and purling the two together like that. I'll take both yarns together to the back of the work. There we go. Now I can slip this stitch from the cable needle back onto the left needle, and the cable needle is done, so we can take that one out of the way. I'm simply going to work a standard pair of double knitted stitches here, but I'm going to switch the colours over. So I'm going to work into the purple stitch with my yellow yarn, bring the yarns to the front, work into the yellow stitch with my purple yarn, and take the yarns to the back. That's an aesthetic choice more than anything. That's not really part of the technique, but your pattern will dictate which colour you need to do that with. I'm now going to slip one stitch knitwise from the left needle to the right, and then I'm going to slip it back purlwise to where it came from, which has just remounted the stitch like that. Now going in from back to front, I'm going to insert the tip of the left needle under the left hand leg of the grandparent of what is currently the second stitch on the right needle. So basically it's the same stitch that we started with before, but this is the second stitch on the right needle, this is its parent here, and this is its grandparent. So going in from back to front, I'm going under that one. You'll see which one it is. It's the one we started the whole thing with. And using the contrast colour, I'm going to knit these two stitches together through the back legs, which has basically formed a bit of an SSK there. Bring both yarns towards me to the front, and then tilting everything to the back, I need to go under with the left needle, I need to find that grandparent stitch again, which is that one down there. So we've got the stitch itself, the parent, and then underneath is the grandparent, but you can clearly see which one it is because it's the bottom of that contrast section. Pick it up going in from front to back. Then using the yellow yarn, because it's the opposite one to the one I've just used, I'm going to purl these two stitches together. A bit low on the camera. Purl these two stitches together like that, and finish everything off by taking both yarns to the back of the work. Now let me just work a pair at the other side just to get away from that section, and you can see here on the front of the work I've got the beginnings of this lovely looking triangle. It comes to a very nice point. None of the columns either side are affected. It works beautifully, it really does. The back, fingers crossed, looks okay. With my knitting it's a little bit less tidy, but you can always sort of have a little dig around in there and tidy things up, making sure it looks just as neat as the front. And then you've got the triangle in yellow on the back. Now go and find yourself a nice chocolate biscuit. You've done really well. That is the combined double increase, double decrease in double knitting. Zip!